Sariputra said to him, "Tell me its essence in summary." Then the bhiksu Asvaja spoke this stanza. All dharmas arise from causes. He has taught the cause of these dharmas. Dharmas cease due to causes. The great teacher has taught the truth of them. When Sariputra heard this stanza, he attained the first fruit of the path, the state of Sratapana. He went back to Maudgalyayana who, noticing the color of his complexion and his cheerfulness, asked him, "Have you found the taste of the immortal? Share it with me." Sariputra communicated to him the stanza he had just heard. Maudgalyayana said to him, "Repeat it again," and when he had heard it again he also attained the first fruit of the path. The two teachers, each accompanied by 250 disciples, went together to the Buddha. Seeing these two men coming with their disciples, the Buddha said to the bhiksus, "Do you see these two men at the head of these brahmacarans?" The bhiksus answered that they saw them. The Buddha continued, "These two men will be foremost among my disciples by their wisdom and by the basis of miraculous powers." Arriving in the crowd, the disciples approached the Buddha, bowed their head and stood to one side. Together they asked the Buddha, "We wish to receive, in the Buddha Dharma, the leaving of the world and higher ordination." The Buddha said to them, "Come, O bhiksu." At once their beards and hair fell off, they were clothed in monks' robes, furnished with the robe and begging bowl, and they received ordination. A fortnight later, when the Buddha had preached the Dharma to the Brahmacaya and Changtcao, Sariputra attained arhathood. Now he who finds the path at the end of a fortnight should, following the Buddha, turn the wheel of the Dharma, and in the stage of aspirant penetrate directly all dharmas and cognize them in all their various aspects. This is why Sariputra attained arhathood at the end of a fortnight. His qualities of all kinds were very numerous. And so, although Sariputra was an arhat and not a bodhisattva, it is to him that the Buddha preached the profound doctrine of the prajnaparamita. Question. If that is so, why does the Buddha preach a little to Sariputra and then a lot to Subhuti? If Sariputra is foremost in wisdom, it is to him he should have mainly preached. Why does he also address himself to Subhuti? Answer. 1. Among the Buddha's disciples, Sariputra is the first of the sages, and Subhuti is the first of those who have attained the concentration of tranquility. By this practice of tranquility, he ceaselessly considers beings in order to prevent them from experiencing any passion whatsoever for him, and he always practices great compassion. This compassion is like that of the bodhisattvas who take the great vow to save beings. This is why the Buddha directs him to teach. 2. Subhuti and Utpalavana at Samkhasya. Furthermore, Subhuti excels in practicing the concentration of emptiness. Having spent the summer retreat among the Tauli gods, the Buddha came down into Jambudvipa. Subhuti, who was then in a rock cave, said to himself, "The Buddha is descending from the Trayastrimsa heaven. Should I or should I not go to him?" Again he said to himself, "The Buddha has always said, if someone contemplates the dharmakaya of the Buddha with the eye of wisdom, that is the best way of seeing the Buddha." Then when the Buddha descended from the Trayastrimsa heaven, the four assemblies of Jambudvipa had gathered. The gods saw the people and the people saw the gods. On the platform were the Buddha, a noble cakravartin king and the great assembly of the gods. The gathering was more embellished than ever before. But Subhuti said to himself, "Even though today's great assembly is quite special, its power will not last for a long time. Perishable dharmas all return to impermanence." Thanks to this consideration of impermanence, he understood that all dharmas are empty and without reality. Having made this consideration, he at once obtained the realization of the path. At that moment, everyone wanted to be the first to see the Buddha and to pay their respect and homage to him. In order to disguise her disreputable sex, the bhiksuni houa transformed herself into a noble cakravartin king with his 7 jewels and his 1,000 sons. When people saw him, they left their seats and moved away to give him place. When this fictive king came near the Buddha, he resumed his former shape and became the bhiksuni again. She was the first to greet the Buddha. However, the Buddha said to the bhiksuni, "It is not you who has greeted me first. It is subhuti. How is that? By contemplating the emptiness of all dharmas, subhuti has seen the dharmakaya of the Buddha. He has paid the true homage, the excellent homage. To come to salute my birth body is not to pay homage to me. This is why we said that subhuti, who ceaselessly practices the concentration on emptiness, is associated with the prajnaparamita, empty by nature. For this reason, the Buddha entrusted subhuti to preach the prajnaparamita. 3. Finally, the Buddha entrusted him to preach it because beings have faith in the arhats who have destroyed the impurities. Thanks to them, they obtain pure faith. The bodhisattvas have not destroyed the impurities, and if they were taken as evidence, people would not believe them. This is why the Buddha conversed about the prajnaparamita with ЩΑРИPUTRA and subhuti. IV. Origin of ЩΑРIPUTRA's name. Question. Where does the name ЩΑRIPUTRA come from? Is it a name given to ЩАРИPUTRA by his father and mother, or is it a name coming from some meritorious action that he had accomplished? Answer. It is a name given to him by his father and mother. In Jambudvipa, in the very fortunate region, there is the kingdom of Mokkhayato. There is a great city there called Rajagra. There was a king there named Pinpo Solo and a Brahmin, master of teaching named Motolo. Because this man was very skillful in debate, the king had given him as a privilege a large village situated not far from the capital. This Mathara married and his wife bore a daughter. Because the eyes of this young girl resembled those of the choli bird, she was called Sari. Later the mother bore a son whose knee bones were very big, and for that reason he was called Kyuhilo. After this Brahmin married, he was busy raising his son and daughter. He forgot all the holy books he had studied and he did not put his mind to acquiring new knowledge. At that time, there was in southern India, a Brahmin, a great master of teaching, named Teacho. He had penetrated deeply into the